And we'll be taking a closer look into those issues in a panel just later in the show. Right now, when to use tear gas on ICE protesters. It's a debate playing out in a court in Illinois. A senior Border Patrol chief testifying after being accused of violating an order limiting the use of riot control tactics like tear gas. A judge now ordering the border chief to report to her daily. NTD Correspondent Jason Blair joins us live from Portland, Oregon, another hotspot for protests and violence by the likes of Antifa. So, Jason, Portland is currently awaiting a decision on whether the National Guard will be deployed there. But first, what do you have on Border Patrol Chief Greg Bavino?
Hey, Steve. Yeah, so Commander Bavino has very much been in the spotlight of the immigration enforcement efforts in Chicago. Recently, he has been accused of improperly using tear gas on protesters in the city. He was there. This is while a temporary restraining order is in place that limits the use of tear gas by agents on protesters unless there is an imminent threat. So a video clip appears to show Bavino lobbing a canister at a crowd of protesters in Chicago. Now, Homeland Security officials argue that the protesters had ignored repeated warnings to disperse and started getting violent and throwing rocks and shooting fireworks at the law enforcement agents, and that Bavino himself was actually hit in the head before any tear gas was used on the crowd. And community members, however, in the area argue that no warnings were given to the crowd before tear gas was used. And after testifying in court, a federal judge has ordered Bavino to report to her daily for briefings, and that he must wear a body camera starting on Friday, and that he will be reporting back in court next Wednesday for a preliminary hearing. Now, White House border czar Tom Homan reacted to Bavino's appearance in court today while talking to Fox News. Here's a clip of that.
Protesters have the right to protest. We support that. But when they cross that line and they're throwing weapons, throwing objects at ICE, assaulting ICE officers, or impeding their movements, preventing them from leaving a building with a detainee in their possession, that's where you've got to draw the line.
And Bavino has said that he does expect Border Patrol to come out successful in this court case.
Now, it is important to note that U.S. District Judge Sarah Ellis is indeed an Obama-appointed judge who has ordered Bavino to report to her. With that said, how about the situation on the ground there in Portland, Jason? Any update with regard to the National Guard being deployed?
So still waiting to hear about that decision. As far as outside of the ICE facility, there has been a heavier police presence there for 2 days in a row. This is something that we haven't seen recently at all, really, in front of the facility, but just started happening the last couple of days. Unlike Sunday, there were no arrests on Monday night, but the police have been coming around quite a bit more. Now, as far as the National Guard, we should be seeing a decision from the court really any moment now. They do have till the end of the day. The judge originally said that she was going to make a decision on Monday, but it has played out until today. So I'm really expecting to hear about that decision any moment now. Back to you.
And Jason, just one more follow-up. In recent days and weeks over in Portland where you're at, some of the pro-ICE, pro-law enforcement people had been showing up there to protest and express their support for ICE, sometimes clashing with the Antifa folks. A lot of those folks were sort of celebrating just the other day when they started to clear those encampments that Antifa had been kicked out of that area. Has that maintained? Are there still encampments there? Are they coming back, or is it completely clear in front of that ICE facility?
So the encampment has actually been the center of why there is police presence there. When they did take that encampment down on Saturday, I heard a police sergeant say that they were going to be coming around more to make sure it stays down and to make sure things were remaining peaceful in front of the facility there. So yes, it has been staying down. There was a temporary canopy up the next day after they took it down, but soon after, the police in the city came in and cleaned out the whole area. And last time I saw it, it was completely clear. I could walk all the way through it without running into anything. So far, the encampment there has stayed down.
What about the inflatables, Jason?
Those were not there on Sunday. However, they have been making an appearance now. I think that some of those costumes actually got taken away when the city came to clean the area, because there were a bunch of them on the sidewalk there, but they have been returning. So there are definitely still inflatable costumes being used outside of the facility.
NTD's Jason Blair, appreciate the update.